Well, hey, everybody. We're here in San Gabriel, California, actually in the shop of Sammy Maloof. And Sammy, you needed me to spell your name because you're not that great at it.
Let me finish this thing because it's S-A-M-M-Y and it's M-A-L-O-O-F, like famous.
And we're here with Bob Wiedland. And I just met you today, Bob.
Wow. It's B-O-B-W-I-E-L-A-N-D.
Yeah, see, I just wanted to see if these guys would spell before I started to interview them, because if they don't have that level of intelligence, it makes it really difficult to do what I do. So I'm here. I'm here in San Gabriel, California, and we just arrived here a short time ago, walked into Sammy's shop, and of course, as always, there's some incredible situation that happens here. And we're here with this amazing man who has, look at this, walked across America. And we're going to explain that to you in a minute. But first of all, I just want to tell you that Sammy is winning the race of life. He has this motivational, passionate speaking that he does with youth, right?
Yes, I do. I'm a Hollywood stuntman. I speak all over the United States at schools, colleges, prisons, juvenile halls, businessmen, businesswomen, and corporate America. And I've tag teamed with my brother here, Bob, for probably 20 years.
That's amazing. And Bob, what are you doing as far as on the speaking circuit?
Well, I've been sharing stories of encouragement for approximately 40 years, and God continues to open up doors that no man can close. We've done a number of programs all over Canada, and we're looking forward to not only coming back up to Canada, but also to encourage our fellow Americans to always remember it's too soon to quit.
Oh my goodness, that is just incredible. And I just landed here for my own little thing, but I get to be with these guys. So Bob's got this incredible story. He's got this amazing book out that was written when, at the time, I suppose, when you did this walk across America. Is that correct?
After the walk was completed. So we started writing the book in 1989 because I was on the road from 1982 to 1986. Now people say, why did it take so long? My tip to the viewing audience is, if you're ever in a hurry to get someplace, don't go on your arms.
That's hilarious. So this is his book, One Step at a Time. And what's amazing about this is that you look on the back of this, and on the back of this is a picture of President Reagan, whom, when you finally did your walk across America, which we'll explain in a minute, you met face to face with the President of the United States at that time. What did you say to the President at the time?
The President had arranged a huge press conference, and I just said, Mr. President, I hope in some small way this project was an encouragement to you. And people say, oh, what did President Reagan say? What did he say? I said, he didn't say anything. He started crying. And that was the end of the press conference. But it was very, very touching. And he's the one who gave me the nickname Mr. Inspiration. He said, Bob Wiedland's an inspiration to all of us. So it was a very special day. And but it's special being here with Sammy. We're like-minded. We just are driven to give everything that we have for all of the blessings that God has given us. And the reason we've been blessed is so that we can go out and be a blessing to others. And that's truly very, very important to both of us.
Which is, I think, the richness that you keep getting out of this experience over and over and over, because you're giving. When you give, you continue to bless yourself, right?
Yeah, I believe that the greatest exercise for anybody's heart is to reach out and lift somebody else up. You know, we've learned that iron sharpens iron. We also learn that the past never destroys our future. It's the thoughts of our past that destroy our future. You know, Bob and I we've had multi hours of fellowship together, and we've learned that and come to the realization that there's 3 ways that you fail. 3 ways are the first way being your thoughts. You and me can't have a good relationship if we have bad thoughts. You can't have a victorious life if you have defeated thoughts, because everyone's defeated from the inside out, never from the outside in. So we found out our thoughts start creating what we believe. What we believe is what we start speaking about. So the second way you fail is your words. We've found out through Bob and I fellowshipping that words are containers. They carry power. They'll leave our mouth, but they'll never leave our life. And the third way is who we associate with. You know, Bob has encouraged me a lot he says, you know, Sammy goes, there's geniuses laying out in the gutters. He goes, there's college graduates everywhere in this world, and they're laying in the gutters because they can't solve problems. So what Bob does is, we sort of go inside the person, whether it's colleges or schools or churches, it doesn't matter. People are people of all walks of life, and try to get them to realize that their gift and talent is greater than the schools or the people that they associated with, because that is the third way you fail, is who you associate with. So Bob goes inside and makes them dig deep enough to find out that, you know what, you got a vision, a calling, and a purpose inside of you. And you need to start where you want to be, not where you're at. So that's how come, I'm very sensitive on who I associate with. And I tell you, my life has been enriched every time I get to hang out with my buddy. I never get tired of hanging out with Bob, because he always has a supernatural message from him to me, even when he's talking to somebody else. So it's been one of the biggest faith builders ever, hanging out with him.
That's amazing.
Isn't it? It is kind of amazing that a man with no legs will go on television and encourage everybody with legs to take a step in faith. But one of my favorite statements is simply this, that one great example is 10 times more powerful than great advice. And I think I know, and I believe Sammy would agree with me, what's happening in America is we have all these people who are giving out all this advice. People say they're marriage counselors and they've been divorced 7 times. I don't get it. You see, and that's not to be a hater. It's just we need the real deal. Sammy's the real deal.
You're the real deal.
What you see is what you get, but I think that's what our strengths are. We complement one another, and even when we're before students, and Sammy does such an awesome job with his super duper racing cars, and he gives all the kids a ride, and they know they've been with a real live Hollywood stuntman, and it means something to them. And people can just tell by looking at me that I've been in some pretty intense situations in my life, but God has always just lifted me up. And so I think it's important. I use this statement: be humble before you stumble. See, Sammy and I both know the source of our strength, because the Bible says in Galatians 6:3, if a man think himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself. And so all praise, all glory, and all honor go to the Lord Jesus Christ, because without him I'm absolutely nothing. And yet he'll lift us up. And so it's a joy to be able to work with Sam. And in fact, a lot of people, they don't even know that we're really related. Yeah,
I can totally see the similarity.
The thing is I'm actually, a lot of people don't believe this, but I'm actually Sammy's older half brother. Well, no, that's a joke. I got.
Well, I'm Sammy's mother, so that fits right in there with all of that.
Well, I could tell you this much, real quick, and I'm a big believer in, like Bob was saying, there's 4 things I think people need to really get a hold of, but most of them only get 3. And Bob has showed me, because I'm a different type of breed, that they read it, they study it, and they understand it, but most of them say they understand something, but they never get it done because they don't have the 4th one, which is comprehension, working knowledge of something. I can't be around somebody who has not been battle-tested, battle-proven. Right. So his wisdom has to work, because if it doesn't work, then all it is inspiration. I think inspiration is good, but when an inspirational speaker comes in and he leaves, all it was inspiration. But when a man of wisdom comes in, not only does it inspire somebody, it changes them from the inside out, because it gives them the working knowledge, the tools they need to take that knowledge and apply it, which is the wisdom. Knowledge has always been past tense and present tense. Wisdom is future. So the wisdom teaches you how to apply it. That's why Bobby's been so successful at everything. I mean, to go against able-bodied people in 1979, to do the world bench press against all the best athletes in the world and beat them all, and doing in reverse grip, not normal grip, in a tank top. I mean, nowadays they got guys that are benching 900 pounds, but they got a shirt that's spring-loaded. Oh. So they take the weight off, and they got to pull the weight down to their chest. This has been the real deal. Battle-tested, battle-proven. Bobby done it. And he was asked the question yesterday, Bobby, if you had to go back into the gym, and how much can you bench? Well, Bob's been on a bike right now for 7,000 miles. So his training strategy had to change it up a little bit for endurance. not for the muscle that's going to lift the weight. So we had to get that muscle off of him so he can keep the endurance going. But he can wheel in, jump on a bench, and bench 400 pounds. So he's no dummy when it comes to keeping exactly what he needs. His body, believe it or not, is tune up on his body is very, very, very good, because his inner man is what made the outer man strong. So Bob knows exactly the strategy he uses to get his flesh to be in order for every event that he puts on. That's why I like doing special events with him in competitions, because he gets out there. He'll race guys on a bicycle using their legs, and he uses his arms on his bike, and they can't keep up with him.
And we know that the quads are the largest muscle in the body. So if they're using their legs and you're using your arms, it's kind of not fair, but you're beating them.
He's got quads up there.
Yeah, also, I know. When I came in the room and I saw those, like, whoa, that's like a strong man. Yeah. Well, I want to say this. First of all, when I came in here and you told me the story of how you walked across America with your hands, everybody abandoned you and left you alone by yourself. They just didn't have your vision. They just didn't see what you see. They didn't have the calling and the passion to do what you needed to do. And you probably didn't understand it yourself. You just knew that you needed to do that. Well,
I'll say this. I always like to be positive, and I did appreciate the gentlemen. They did commit for 1 year, and that was a pretty serious length of time. We're still very good friends, and so I don't want to project anything other than that we are still good friends. Trust me, you're out there for 12 months. That's an awful long period of time. But I didn't mind that they went back to California, because, as Sammy said, I knew this was commissioned from God, that it was something I was supposed to do. And so, actually, the 5 months I was by myself was really some of the greatest times of my life, because all day for 12, 14 hours a day, I would just talk to God. It was phenomenal. Yeah.
And you can never plan that. You can't. It's something that's so unique and so therapeutic. And you see, because of the injury that was inflicted on you through a faithful act of a citizen representing his country, then God knew that he needed to give you what you needed to bring value out of what it is that happened to you. So, not just sitting in a wheelchair for the rest of your life, but to make a difference in the lives of other people, to give you value and meaning for your own injury.
Exactly. See, I didn't realize I was disabled till my neighbor mentioned it to me one day, because I was in the backyard and I had my manual wheelchair, and I was pushing the wheelchair with one arm and the lawnmower with the other. I go like, wheelchair, lawnmower, wheelchair, lawnmower. My neighbor leaned over and says, "Hey, Bob, you shouldn't be cutting the lawn. You're handicapped." Man, I thought about it for a moment. I said, "Well, hey, buddy," I said, "you better tell that to my wife, because she said if I don't get the lawn cut, I'm in a whole lot of trouble." And so that's been my approach, Yeah,
that's amazing that God would give you that value. You didn't know what your life was going to be like. You didn't know that this was going to be your story.
And the best is yet to come. That's what I want to tell everybody. The best is yet to come.
Well, this story definitely needs to be told. But what's really amazing here is that these two guys, between now, which is September 23rd, and Veterans Day, November 11th, are available to come and inspire and speak and encourage and motivate, not just veterans and not just people that are struggling, but our young people today. And you know this, you young kids. What I know is that this life that we've had is a sense of entitlement. North America has this sense of entitlement. And some of it, well, most of it's the fault of our generation thing. Oh, I want to give back to my kids what I never had. Not understanding that we are the people that we are because we didn't have everything handed to us. But we went ahead and we made that decision. And now we've got all you kids. And now we want to start giving back value to you. So it's not a criticism of who you are. It's us taking responsibility that we failed our generation by giving too much. And now we have to teach you to deal with what you have. So I want you guys to you can contact me on my website. You'll see the blog underneath this video that will tell you how to contact Sammy and Bob to bring them to speak in your areas and hear their inspiring message. Sammy brings his car and his stories of arm wrestling and illegal street racing, and Bob will bring his incredible, amazing story of how he took damage done that would have ended his life and instead turned it into something inspiring. And I know that he himself has been inspired by his own story. It's not just fed and inspired other people. And I'm going to end on this. About 2 weeks ago, I was on vacation, and I was with a family who was talking to me about their son who had some challenges. And as I listened to her and listened to the heartbreak of a mother talking about how what she wished for her son, and after she's gone, who's going to care for him, and all of those things, I went to sleep. And during the night, these words kept coming to me all the time. And it was kind of that nagging. So I finally got up in the wee hours of the morning and typed it into my iPhone. And this is what came to me. And I know these men will agree with this. This is what came. Disability is the inability to believe in possibility. And so that's where true disability is when we can't see beyond where we're at right now. So I invite you to log on to their websites, learn more about them, and book them. And thanks, guys, for being here with me in this spontaneous moment.
Thank you, Candace, very much. You know, one thing real quick I want to say is, you know, when Bob was in the hospital and his legs got blown off, and he was in Vietnam, Cu Chi, Vietnam, he wrote a letter to his mom and dad, and I want you to just hear the part of this that he wrote. The first couple lines will just.
Do you want to read it?
Well, I know it by heart, so I don't know if they can get it again. Dear Mom and Dad, I'm in the hospital. My second sentence is pretty powerful. It says, everything is going to be okay. What? I just got my legs blown off. I'm saying everything is going to be okay. The people here are taking good care of me. It won't be that much of an adjustment. Please don't worry about me. Maybe I'll help you out in real estate. Love, Bob. Oh, then I put P.S. This is pretty interesting. P.S. I think I lost my legs. Wait a second. You got your legs blown off. Don't you think you know it? But I wasn't even sure because I was weaving in and out of consciousness, and yet the Holy Spirit helped me pen that letter to be an encouragement to my mom and dad.
That's amazing. This book, called One Step at a Time, can be purchased on Amazon.com. So just search it, One Step at a Time, and pick up that book. And go to Winning at the Race of Life, SammyMaloof.com, and learn more about Sammy. And we'll check in with you soon.